Chapter 1765. Can I say now? Bang. There was a loud noise. While the golden light was splashing, Yang Kai also flew upside down, in midair gave a mouthful of fresh blood. The blood shield that he is proud of, the interwoven blood shield of 100 paths of golden blood silk thread, failed to completely block this blow, which made him amazed. However, the confrontation at this moment also made him see what was attacking the owner. It was a long spear with 10 feet long, a baby's arm thickness, and a long spear with splendid light flowing through it, and there were fluctuations in spiritual energy that were extremely out of the ordinary. Void King Grade Secret Treasure. Although the long spear of Secret Treasure's body is blocked by the blood shield, the power that leaks from the long spear cannot be completely blocked. It invades into Yang Kai within the body and immediately let it as if he had been pierced by countless needles. The meridians were in great pain and his face was suddenly distorted. With the cultivation level of the person who shot the sneak attack and the terrifying power of this long spear, the ordinary Void Return 3-layer will indeed be killed immediately, but after all, Yang Kai has a strong background, so just suffered a little injury. From the time Gloom Star left to the present, the first time I found a place with humans, but didn't expect to be given a sneak attack by a Void King stage with Void King Grade Secret Treasure. Yang Kai's heart was burning with anger and turned his head, like an ominous beast that was offended. He stared fiercely at that piece of meteorite sea, and then flew into the distance quickly, disappeared in the blink of an eye. The long spear that struck Yang Kai's, after a single blow, flew back the same way and fell into the hands of a middle-aged person standing on a huge meteorite. This middle-aged person has a gloomy appearance, a long body, and a cyan robe. The place where he stands is filled with gloomy and cold aura, and no one dared to approach him. Holding Own's secret treasure, the middle-aged person's face showed some unexpected expressions. It seemed that he didn't expect Own blow to kill Yang Kai. Interesting, not only can you find your hiding place early, but you have not been killed on the spot after taking this king's blow. The middle-aged person sneered of the evil bird sneered and glanced in the direction of Yang Kai's escape. After a glance, he asked, "Who do you know that person?" Around him, at least 20 Void Return stage stood, and all of them were powerhouses above Void Return 2-layer. No one of the 1-layer, hearing this, looked at each other in blank dismay, and all shook the head, indicating that they don't know Yang Kai. Since you don't know him, then he is not a person over there. It seems that he really passed by. The middle-aged person pondered for a while, but this matter is very important and cannot be tolerated. The slightest mistake, even if he is passing by, he can't be let go. "My lord, can he survive a blow from you?" someone else asked. Just now, the middle-aged person made a blow, and they all saw it in their eyes. None of the people present were confident that they could take such a blow without dying. Although the other party does not know the origin, it is obviously only a Void Return stage, and naturally it is also an impossible exception. "Be careful, Zhang Fu, Lu Dong, go and bring his corpse back to this king." The middle-aged person instructed. He obviously believes that Yang Kai is bound to die, and it is also struggling on to escape. Whilst at death's door, that's all. Yes. The named 2 Void Return 3-layer immediately promised, took out Star Shuttle, and chased after Yang Kai escaped. 30 miles away from the area where Yang Kai was attacked, on a meteorite, Yang Kai sat cross-legged, watching the direction when owner came, and waiting quietly. Although he didn't know why the Void King stage just attacked the owner for no reason, but judging from the sneaky situation of those people, he was obviously ambushing who, and even if the owner passed by accidentally, it may have disturbed their plan. That's why the other party's attack was invited in an attempt to kill people. In this case, the owner is now running away, and the other party will definitely not let it go. There should be chasing soldiers. It was precisely because of this kind of judgment that Yang Kai stopped deliberately and did not leave in a hurry. Unfathomable mystery suffered such a big loss, how could Yang Kai let it go? Although the opponent's attack was terrifying, Yang Kai also noticed that the shot was just a Void King 1-layer. He has even killed Luo Hai, so why is he afraid of Void King 1-layer? Although there is no Star Emperor token to use, even if he can't fight, there is no problem to escape. Luo Hai chased Yang Kai for several months in the Star territory back then. He was very distressed. A little-known 1-layer, could it be that better than Luo Hai? Sure enough, his guess was right. After waiting less than 5 minutes on this meteorite, 2 rays of escape light suddenly appeared, judging from the brightness and speed of that light. The people are 2 Void Return 3-layer. Yang Kai had a sarcasm smile at the corners of his mouth, and when they got close enough, he pretended to be panicked, hurriedly jumped from the meteorite, took out Star Shuttle, and continued towards Fly Forward to escape. It's just that under his deliberate actions, his escape light flickers, his speed is extremely slow, his injuries are not light, he has reached the appearance of an arrow at the end of its flight. When two martial artists named Zhang Fu and Lu Dong saw this scene, they looked at each other and couldn't help smiling. They were actually decorated at a moderate pace behind Yang Kai, a cat scene. The mouse's mentality is not in a hurry to come forward and hurt the killer. Flying forward, Yang Kai looks back from time to time, as if he is afraid that his own will be overtaken by the opponent. This scene made Zhang Fu and Lu Dong even more unscrupulous. Not only did they hang behind Yang Kai, they also continued to threaten them. An hour later, after guessing that the distance was almost the same, Yang Kai suddenly stopped, turned around, and stood still in the void. The rays of light flashed, Zhang Fu and Lu Dong, two people simultaneous, appeared in front of Yang Kai at 30 zhang, looking at him mockingly. The taller Zhang Fu looked at Yang Kai up and down, and sneered, "Boy, you can do it." After taking a blow from the Senior Li Soulbreaker spear, it didn't die. Let this Zhang is so admired. Senior Li. Yang Kai is frowned, his face is terrifying, complexion is white, and he coughs continuously when he speaks. I and you guys, lacking hatred and enmity, dare to ask that Senior Li, why did you take a sneak attack on me? Zhang Fu coldly smiled, remaining calm and composed while handling pressing affairs, playing with a ring-shaped secret treasure on his hand, and his eyes are slightly raised. We're indeed lacking hatred and enmity, blame you brat for not having long eyes, but we have to pass by here, hey, Senior Li, but the most annoying owner's plan is disturbed. What plan? Yang Kai asked. Lu Dong, standing next to Zhang Fu, said impatiently, the kid is going to die, why do you ask so much? It's because I'm going to die, so I want to ask clear, so as not to be unclear. Yang Kai slowly shook his head. Do you want to die to understand? Zhang Fu looked at Yang Kai sneer. Not bad. It's not impossible to tell you, anyway. Zhang Fu said in a playful tone, but before the words were over, Lu Dong interrupted. What to do with so much nonsense with him? It's important to kill him and return to Senior Li's life. Yes. Zhang Fu nodded with approval, and looked at him again. He glanced at the space ring in Yang Kai's hand. This kid can eat Senior Li without dying in a single blow. He doesn't seem to be a messy guy. There must be a lot of good things for this kind of person. Wait for the things in his ring. 55. No problem. Lu Dong nodded. Two people divided up Yang Kai's belongings in a few words. Anyway, Senior Li only said that he would take the corpse back, but he didn't say that he would take the things back. Naturally, these things can fill their pockets. I believe that as Senior Li, I also look down on it, let alone pursue this matter. Want something from me? Yang Kai picked up the corner of his mouth slightly, icily said, I'm afraid you will lose it. The kid is crazy. Lu Dong cold snort. At the next moment, the complexion changed drastically, and his eyes bulged out, staring at the original location of Yang Kai, but there was no one there. Yang Kai actually doesn't know what disappeared. Suddenly a faint chill came from the neck, and Zhang Fu sounded in his ears. Danger Land screamed in horror, Brother Lu, hide away. Lu Dong, anyway Void returned 3-layer powerhouse. At the moment when he discovered that Yang Kai had disappeared, he realized that it was not good. At this moment, he heard Zhang Fu's reminder that there were no hesitates. Saint Yuan urged him to avoid him. But to his horror, Saint Yuan, who owns within the body, was madly suppressed by a potential field, flowing extremely slowly, and even the void around the own completely solidified. Such a powerful potential field. Lu Dong courage entirely to break, and quickly urged his own potential field to resist. This is the method and process of the duel between the void return stage powerhouse. Often the strength of the potential field can determine the final victory. But the facts made him extremely desperate. His own potential field had just diffused out of his body. It was like a snowflake that met the scorching sun, and it dissolved in an instant, but it was impossible to form. At this moment, the neck got a chill, and his eyes suddenly turned upside down. Through own eyes, he saw a headless corpse standing in the void. From there the red fresh blood splashed from the neck like a fountain is spectacular. The clothes, figure, and ring on his hand. It seems to be the same as own. Could it be that I have been killed? Lu Dong's forehead was cold and he realized something vaguely, but soon darkness fell and swallowed all his consciousness and vitality. Can I say it now? Yang Kai was already standing 30 feet in front of Zhang Fu when he was emerging. The complexion was rosy, and there was no way he was injured before. He stared at Zhang Fu coldly, and on his fingers, a golden blood silk thread flew around like a spiritual snake that chose someone to devour a snake core. Zhang Fu shuddered, and a chill hit the soles of his feet from his head, almost making his soles cramp. Lu Dong, who is as strong as his own, is in a different place in front of the opponent. At that moment, he only saw a glimmer of golden light flashing on Lu Dong's neck. He didn't even see how Yang Kai did it. In this world, is there such a powerful void return stage? Even if Senior Li wants to kill On and the others, this is easy, right? Zhang Fu looked pale stove in place, with big beads of sweat on his forehead, sliding down his cheeks.